Today we're meeting with Larry for the fifth and last time. He did the math and figured out that criticizing his wife and pushing her to do what he wanted would never make him happy. And he learned that he needed to get real love from people other than his wife, Martha, so he could go back into his marriage without the irritation and expectations that have been hurting his relationship with her. So now, back to Larry, who has a question.
So when I walk into the house after working all day and she has 2 days of dishes in the sink, what am I supposed to do?
Easy. Love her.
So I'm supposed to say, Martha, I really love it that you haven't washed the dishes. Come on, that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. This isn't about dishes. I said, love her. Again, do the math. Compared to what real love could produce in your marriage, genuine happiness, peace, the absence of anger, a real partnership with someone who loves you completely, how important is a handful of dishes?
If I knew that all that was possible, a real partnership and happiness, it's true that the dishes would seem like nothing by comparison.
And you'll never find out about the power of real love in your marriage until one of you actually does it. At this point, Martha knows very little about real love. So what's the likelihood that she'll be the pioneer here and take the first steps?
Low.
Low to none. So that leaves you, Bubba. If you're willing to love her with no conditions, you'll have a chance of finding out what a loving relationship can be. So, for now, you just love her.
How?
Great question. First, you get the love from other people. That's very important. If you try to love her right now while you're irritated, you'll almost certainly fail. As you feel more loved and peaceful, then try loving her. Now, what would that look like? The secret is in the simplest stuff. If you read the book Real Love and Marriage, for example, you'll find pages and pages of examples of what loving looks like. So, read the book. For now, though, when you come in the house and see the dishes, one very loving thing that you can do is just ignore them. The dishes are not important. Love is. So when you come in the house, you go find Martha, you hug her, and you tell her how glad you are to be home with her again. Then, 4, 5 times a day, you stop what you're doing, whether you're at the computer or watching television, whatever, on a commercial, and you find her wherever she is in the house. You touch her. You look directly into her eyes. You touch her again. You don't have to be a poet when you talk to her. Just tell her you were thinking of her and then go back to what you were doing. These seemingly small, loving gestures have a huge impact over time. But probably the most important loving act is the omission of unloving acts. Make a decision that you will not say a single negative word to her for the foreseeable future. Not one. Why? Because you don't need any more wounds in your marriage. You need more love. And at this point, the love in your marriage is just beginning to grow, like a new seedling. It doesn't take much to damage a new plant. So don't take the chance. It's not worth it. Every once in a while, I can think of something negative to say to my own wife, Donna, about something that she's done. Some task, some ridiculous little thing. But then I do the math. Will I get more happiness from getting a particular thing or correcting a task, or will I get more happiness just from loving her? Do I really have to say this critical little thing? Or is there a possibility that it could have a negative effect on the love that is all important in our relationship? These questions have saved me from a lot of stupid moments. Now, occasionally, it is important to correct something that your partner does. But when you do it only once in a long while, and you do it with love, it has an entirely different effect than when you correct and push push all the time and when you're irritated. Always do the math. And remember that it's always about real love. You remember that, and you will love the results.